Hello, this is Kathy Perry, corporate energy expert, helping senior living teams power up. And in today's video, I want to talk about some tips to engage your senior living teams, especially under this umbrella of the Great Resignation. Well, we've all heard that term being thrown out there that people are resigning left and right, and nowhere have I heard or seen more of that than within the senior living space. And whether it be people are deciding to stay home because they have childcare issues, they want to stay home now, or they are just burned out, or for whatever reason, people may not be returning to jobs in senior living, or they just might not be showing up. And it's creating this drain on so many of us. I've heard from senior living leaders like, my team is just down. We can't get out of this funk. We are short staffed. And people are thinking, well, if they're leaving, should I leave? Or is there something better somewhere else? So, what are some tips that we can do on our teams for our people to power them up during this kind of funk that's going on? Well, I'd like you to stay till the end of the video. Also, if you do have to leave, make sure to subscribe so you get notifications about new videos coming out. But besides just these 5 tips to engage your teams, I'm also going to be giving what I like to call the number one thing that you can be doing right now. So let's get at it. What is number one that you could be doing? Well, it's such an easy one. It costs you nothing, but it's acknowledging those who do show up. Well, recently I was traveling for a conference, and 2 different conferences in the same month. And one out in Las Vegas I showed up at, and the line to check in at 12:30 at night took 1 hour. I'm not kidding you. Huge major resort. And you could just tell the staff was burnt out. People in line were cranky. Show that to another hotel I checked in a couple weeks later, and sort of the same situation. One person behind the desk. No one was checking in any timely manner. You could see the tempers. And then I see the probably manager on duty, show up with trays of snacks and drinks. Just that little bit of acknowledgement went quite a long way. We're acknowledging, yes, we are short staffed, we don't have it, but we want to acknowledge that there are some things that we can do. Well, this is true on your teams as well. Acknowledge what is going on for those who do show up. Whether that is a treat of some sort or a lunch that you bring in, whether it's just a little bit of praise, maybe it's a social media post. How can you actually be acknowledging and making kind of a big deal out of the people who are there? There's the difference between doing absolutely nothing, which increases tempers, which decreases employee satisfaction, or there's just doing a little tiny thing that doesn't take a lot of thought, and it lets your staff, your employees, especially your frontline workers, know that they are appreciated for being there. Well, the second tip is paint the picture. Here's the thing. We've been in a weird world for a couple years, and some of your employees may not know what that really great picture looks like of when you are fully staffed, when you're operating at full capacity. So just like we might do at the beginning of a new year and create a vision board for our personal lives, or we set a goal for our teams, why not just go ahead and create that vision for them? Say, hey, I know you're being patient through this kind of rough time, but this is what it used to look like, and we're going to make it even better. So just painting that vision and reminding them, hey, this is temporary. This better thing is coming. This is what it will look like when we are fully up and running the way we want to be. Creating that vision for your team. Well, here's the next one, number 3. Update your team contribution statements. When I work with organizations, this is a big one that I do. Because see, what people contribute actually, in their minds, may be completely different than what a manager sees them contributing. And when I do this exercise, I always say, write down 3 things that you do, that you contribute to your team, your organization, that aren't in your job description. And you should see some of the amazing answers I get. I'm a cheerleader. I'm an advocate. I am a family communicator. I am a technology consultant. How many of you on your staff might have to do some technology consulting with your residents, right? And is that in a job description? Maybe not. So knowing what they think they are doing, or they know they're doing, I shouldn't say think, and comparing that to what you as a manager might think could be 2 different things. But when you have this exercise or work through it, you realize, man, people are really contributing a lot, and a lot of things that we might not be acknowledging. So do those team contribution statements. Help your team members see they are vital, that if they don't show up, that thing that they do that's so special for a resident might not happen. Team contribution statements, updating them is my 3rd tip to engage teams during this weird great resignation, work staff shortage time. Next is remind everyone daily why they are in senior living. You know, this is a special place to be. Working with the grandmas and the grandpas, or the frail and the fragile, that takes a caregiver's heart. And that should always be elevated. As I work with teams and we talk about what's happening in senior living, we all need to step up and elevate the profession. This is important. These people are important members of families, members of society. They played important roles, and the people who are now caregiving are important. So continue to elevate the profession. Let your people know and remind them, hey, you are in this, and it's noble, and you are doing good work. I don't know what happens at your team huddles in the morning, but having those type of statements so that when someone breaks away, it's like, yeah, I am doing it. I am helping, I'm caring. Elevating that caregiving is so important. And then the last tip, which is by far one of my favorites, is creating a kindness culture. See, unfortunately, one of the side effects of this time period where we might be having workforce issues, staffing shortages, this great resignation, incivility can creep into teams. You know, we're short-tempered when we're short-staffed, and sometimes that comes out on our coworkers. Sometimes it might come out to a resident. We always want to maintain that culture of kindness within our teams, and especially to our residents. But people will leave if they feel like there's incivility on a team, if they feel like they're being talked down to, if anger comes out, if frustration, if nitpicking. I'm sure we can see some nitpicking coming out, or throwing people under the bus. None of those things is good for a healthy culture. So those are my tips for you today. Paint the vision, acknowledge the people who show up, create a kindness culture, remind people daily why it's important that they are in senior living. So this is Kathy Perry, corporate energy expert, always wanting to help you and your teams power up. If you go down to the comments, you will see a link to get some more resources, but subscribe to the channel so you can get updates for more videos that are going to help you and your senior living teams power up. Thanks so much for watching.